The dog barked at the mailbox every morning when people found out why they were stunned every morning just after sunrise. The same sound echoed down Maplewood Lane, a sharp, persistent bark that cut through the quiet like clockwork. It came from a medium-sized shaggy brown dog named Rusty, tail stiff ears. Alert, he stood in front of house number 14, barking relentlessly at the green metal mailbox planted at the edge of the lawn. At first, people found it amusing. That dog must really hate bills. Laughed Mr. Carson, the retired school teacher next door. Kids walking to the bus stop would sometimes giggle and mimic Rusty's bark. A few neighbors even scolded him to stop the noise. But Rusty was undeterred every day at 6:45 a.m. Like clockwork, he'd trot down from the house 2 blocks away and park himself in front of the mailbox. Bark, pause, bark again and again for 15 minutes straight. No one could figure out why Rusty didn't live at house number 14. He belonged to a widow named Mrs. Connors who lived on Cedar Street. She had adopted him from a shelter just a year ago. A quiet dog at first, until this odd routine began a few months prior. Out of curiosity, a few neighbors tried to lure him away with treats. Others checked the mailbox, nothing, empty, normal. The family who lived in the house, the Millers, had gone quiet for weeks. People assumed they were away on vacation. A do not disturb sign had been hung on the front door. Still, Rusty came still. He barked. It wasn't until one rainy Tuesday morning that someone finally paid attention to more than the noise. James, the local mail carrier, had been delivering letters down the same street for 5 years. He knew the families, the dogs, the habits. Rusty's barking had become white noise to him until that day when he noticed something strange. The letters and newspapers were piling up behind the green mailbox. He bent down to collect the stacked waterlogged flyers, unopened envelopes. Then he looked at the mailbox and back at the house. Something felt wrong. James approached the front door. Knock, no answer. He knocked again. Still silence. That's when Rusty, still barking, darted toward the side gate and scratched feverishly, whimpering now. Then he looked at James, then back at the gate over and over again. A lump formed in James's throat. He pulled out his phone and called 911. Paramedics arrived within minutes with permission from the landlord, who hadn't heard from the tenants in weeks. They broke the lock and entered the home the moment the door opened. A foul odor hit the team like a wave inside. The air was thick, stale dust coated the furniture. Newspapers littered the floor, and in the living room, barely conscious and severely dehydrated, lay Mr. Miller, the elderly man who'd lived there with his son before the younger man moved away for work. Mr. Miller had suffered a stroke nearly 2 weeks earlier. He had crawled helplessly toward the window, but never made it. No phone within reach. No one to check in on him. He would have died there if not for Rusty. Nobody could explain how or why Rusty had fixated on that house. He had never been inside it. He had no connection to the Millers. Mrs. Connors swore she never walked him past it before his strange behavior began. But something, whether a scent, a sound, or something deeper, had drawn him to that mailbox day after day. He barked, demanding attention for someone who couldn't ask for help himself. When Mr. Miller woke up in the hospital, he couldn't speak at first, but his tears said enough when the paramedics told him a dog had saved his life after the incident. Rusty became the quiet hero of the neighborhood. Kids brought him toys. The mayor sent a thank you letter. Even Mr. Carson, who once grumbled about being woken up early, left bacon at the front of his lawn for Rusty. Each Sunday, Mr. Miller made a full recovery after weeks of rehab and asked to meet the dog that wouldn't stop barking. When they met, Rusty sat calmly at his feet, tail wagging slowly as if to say, "You're safe now." What seemed like annoying noise was actually a call for help. Rusty's bark wasn't random, wasn't pointless, it was a lifeline. So the next time a dog barks, don't just hush it or shrug it off. It might be more than noise. It might be a voice no one else is listening to until it's too late, because some dogs don't bark at what's in front of them. They bark for who's behind the door, quietly fading away. Don't forget to subscribe and like